The morning sun draped Maplewood Lane in a golden embrace, its rays glinting off dew-kissed lawns. The air carried the soft chirping of sparrows, mingling with the distant hum of a lawnmower, a suburban symphony of peace. In a modest home tucked among neat rows of houses, Emma Carter knelt in her vibrant garden, her hands cradling lavender blooms. Inside, her husband, Nathan Reed, a retired combat instructor, sipped coffee at his desk, savoring the tranquility they'd carved out after years of chaos. This serene haven, a stark contrast to Nathan's battle-scarred past, was their sanctuary. But beneath the calm, a storm was brewing, one that would unleash fury, ignite fierce debates, and forever reshape their quiet neighborhood. Nathan had once thrived in the crucible of conflict zones, where every decision was a razor's edge between life and death. Now retired, he sought solace in Maplewood Lane's predictability. His days revolved around consulting work, analyzing surveillance feeds from a desk adorned with faded medals and weathered maps, relics of a life he cherished but didn't miss. Emma, his counterbalance, filled their home with warmth. Her garden, a tapestry of daisies, roses, and lilies, was her sanctuary, each plant a testament to their shared resilience. Their house, unassuming yet brimming with love, stood as a bulwark against the unpredictability Nathan had left behind. Yet his instincts, honed by years of vigilance, never fully slept, lingering like a shadow in the corners of his mind. Outside, Emma worked under a wide-brimmed straw hat, the breeze ruffling her hair as she tended her blooms. The rhythmic chirping of birds and the faint buzz of a neighbor's trimmer wove a comforting backdrop. Then, heavy footsteps shattered the harmony. Emma glanced up, squinting against the sunlight, as two men strode up the driveway. Their crisp uniforms bore no logos, their authoritative swagger jarring against the neighborhood's laid-back pulse. The taller one, his face etched with forced confidence, spoke first. "Good morning. We're with the HOA enforcement team. Your mailbox violates community color standards. This is a serious issue." Emma dusted her hands on her apron, her brow creasing. The HOA handbook, which she'd skimmed, mentioned no such rule. "I'm sorry, this is news to me. Can I see your identification?" The men exchanged a fleeting glance, their smiles tightening. The shorter one, clutching a clipboard with a vague form, stepped forward. "We don't carry badges on us. You need to fix this now or face steep fines." Emma's polite curiosity hardened into skepticism. "I'll need to see ID before we discuss this further," she said, her voice calm but unyielding. The taller man's facade cracked, irritation flashing in his eyes. "We don't have time for games. Comply or you'll regret it." Tension thickened the air like a gathering storm. Emma stood her ground, arms crossed, her gaze steady. "Show me identification, or this conversation ends." The shorter man's patience frayed, his voice rising. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." In a flash of aggression, he lunged, his hands snaring Emma's hair. A sharp cry tore from her lips as he yanked her forward, pain searing her scalp. The world tilted, her garden blurred into a chaotic swirl of color and motion. Birds scattered from trees, their frantic wings echoing the shock rippling through the neighborhood. Emma fought back, twisting against his grip, her heart pounding with defiance. She was no victim, but his brute strength dragged her toward the street, her knees scraping the pavement. Inside, Nathan's focus shattered. Emma's screams sliced through the quiet, a dagger to his soul. He surged to his feet, his chair crashing backward, and raced to the window. The sight, his wife manhandled by two strangers in sham uniforms, ignited a primal fury. The warrior within, dormant but never gone, roared to life. Nathan bolted through the house, his pulse thundering, each step a calculated beat in a symphony of instinct. The front door slammed open, rebounding off its hinges, as he crossed the threshold into the midday glare. His presence filled the driveway, a towering force of controlled rage. His voice, low and unyielding, cut through the chaos. "Let her go. Now." The impostors froze, their grip on Emma faltering. The taller one sneered, but doubt flickered in his eyes as Nathan advanced. The shorter man, still clutching Emma, barked, "Back off, or she gets hurt!" Nathan's gaze didn't waver, his movements deliberate, predatory. In one fluid motion, he closed the distance, twisting the shorter man's arm with surgical precision. The man gasped, releasing Emma as Nathan forced him to the ground, his knee pinned against the pavement. The taller man lunged, but Nathan sidestepped, disarming him with a swift strike to the wrist. Within seconds, both impostors were subdued, their bravado crumbling under Nathan's disciplined force. Emma staggered free, her breath ragged but her spirit unbroken, her eyes locking with Nathan's in a silent vow of gratitude. Neighbors, drawn by the commotion, spilled onto their lawns, their faces a mix of shock and outrage. Whispers turned to murmurs as the truth emerged. "They're not HOA," a woman muttered, clutching her toddler. "It's a scam," another hissed, his voice trembling with anger. The realization spread like wildfire. These men were frauds, preying on the community's trust with fabricated violations. As police sirens wailed in the distance, Nathan stood over the impostors, his breathing steady, his presence a shield between Emma and the chaos. The crowd grew, their murmurs swelling into a chorus of disbelief and fury. An elderly man, leaning on his cane, shook his head. "Knew they didn't belong here," he muttered, his voice tinged with grim satisfaction. The police arrived, their flashing lights painting the dusk in red and blue. Officers, exuding calm authority, assessed the scene with practiced efficiency. Nathan stepped forward, recounting the events with measured clarity, his voice steady despite the adrenaline still coursing through him. Emma, her hair tousled but her composure intact, added her account, her words sharp with resolve. The impostors, now handcuffed, offered little resistance as their scheme unraveled. They confessed to exploiting homeowners across the county, wielding fake HOA authority to extort money and intimidate. Their plan, once cunning, lay exposed, their false power reduced to pathetic defiance. The incident sent shockwaves through Maplewood Lane, exposing cracks in the community's foundation. The HOA board, long seen as aloof gatekeepers, faced a firestorm of criticism. At an emergency meeting, Chairman David Morrow, his face etched with strain, admitted fault. "We've let you down," he said, his voice faltering. "This can't happen again." The boardroom, usually a sterile space of bureaucracy, buzzed with urgency. Sarah Jenkins, a vocal member, pushed for sweeping reforms, a digital portal for transparent communication, regular town halls, and rigorous vetting of HOA representatives. "We need trust, not fear," she argued, her passion rallying the board. Residents, emboldened, demanded accountability, their voices a unified call for change. In the days that followed, Maplewood Lane transformed. Nathan and Emma's home became a beacon of solidarity. Neighbors gathered under string lights, sharing lemonade and stories, their once distant bonds now forged in shared adversity. Nathan, humble despite his heroics, insisted, "We're all protectors here. This is our home." Emma, her resilience a quiet force, inspired others with her unyielding spirit. Her garden, once a personal refuge, now symbolized the community's rebirth, sturdy blooms thriving through storms. Informal watch groups formed, children played under watchful eyes, and conversations over hedges grew into plans for a stronger future. Yet, the story sparked fierce debates. Some hailed Nathan as a hero, his swift action a necessary stand against deception. Others questioned his force. Was it justified, or did it cross a line? Rumors swirled. Were the impostors lone opportunists or part of a larger racket? The HOA's lapses fueled outrage, with some residents demanding resignations, while others argued for reform over punishment. The community, though united, buzzed with conflicting views, each neighbor wrestling with questions of safety, justice, and trust. One whispered theory even suggested the impostors had targeted Maplewood Lane deliberately, exploiting its reputation as a trusting enclave. The uncertainty kept tensions high, conversations crackling with speculation. As dusk settled over Maplewood Lane, the neighborhood glowed with renewed purpose. The ordeal had forged a tighter community, one that stood ready to defend its peace. Nathan and Emma, at the heart of it all, embodied a profound truth. Strength wasn't just in combat skills or stubborn resolve, but in the courage to protect what mattered most. Their driveway, once a battleground, now stood as a monument to resilience, a testament to a community that refused to break. The HOA, humbled, rolled out its promised reforms, and residents vowed to stay vigilant, their trust hard-earned but unshakable. But the questions lingered, sparking heated debates that echoed beyond Maplewood Lane. Was Nathan's response a righteous defense or an overreach of force? Should the HOA face harsher consequences for its failures? And what did this say about trust in a world where deception could wear a uniform? The answers weren't simple, and that's what made the story resonate. A raw, human clash of instinct, justice, and community. What do you think? Was Nathan's takedown heroic, or did he go too far? Should the HOA board step down, or is reform enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear every angle. And tell us, how do you handle trust and deception in your relationships? Is a prank ever just a prank, or does it always carry a cost? Hit that like button, subscribe for more gripping stories, and join the debate below. Your voice matters.